Hello, I'm Dina Titus, your representative from Nevada's 1st District in the heart of Southern Nevada. Welcome to Washington, D.C. for the Save Our Wild Horses Conference. This is the only professional conference of its kind for the wild horse community. Thank you to all of the grassroots members who are gathered here today for inviting me back to speak to you and for making this whole event possible. It's really an honor to be here with so many of you who are working so hard for such a long time to protect these icons of the American West. Ever since I entered politics, I've made it a priority to protect all animals, whether it's combating illegal wildlife trafficking, ending cruel taxpayer-funded animal experiments, ensuring animals are protected during natural disasters, and defending free-roaming wild horses and burros. As many of you gathered today know, the Bureau of Land Management is directed to humanely manage wild equine populations. In order to do so, BLM contracts directly with private enterprises to round up these animals at rates of anywhere between $500 to $800 per equine. These contracts include helicopter operators who chase horses over prolonged distances, which create frightening and sometimes deadly situations. Since 2011, the top 3 helicopter companies, just 3 now, have contracted with BLM for gathers and raked in over $36.8 million, taxpayer dollars. Last year, I was absolutely horrified, as some of you may have been if you saw it, by the video of a gathering at the Pancake Complex, during which a young colt was chased for miles by a helicopter. This frightened colt ultimately gravely injured itself, which necessitated the need for it to be shot and killed. These situations just should not be happening. Since 2021, there have been 19 equine deaths in Nevada caused by such injuries sustained during BLM roundups. An additional 132 deaths have occurred in Nevada BLM roundups as a result of chronic illness or pre-existing conditions, side effects that can be exacerbated by the fear and panic induced by the helicopters. Taxpayer dollars should not be used to support brutal methods of gathering, especially when more humane alternatives exist. That's why last year I introduced the Wild Horse and Burro Protection Act, which would have eliminated the use of helicopters in BLM wild horse gathers. And it would require the Government Accountability Office to explore humane alternatives to protect these beautiful creatures, which remain a source of such pride, not just for Nevada residents, but internationally. And it could also help explore job creation opportunities for cowboys. While we weren't able to move this legislation in the 117th Congress, I look forward to reintroducing the bill in the coming weeks. Additionally, last May, I wrote a letter to Secretary Holland to express my concern about wild horses suffering from mysterious respiratory and neurological illnesses in BLM facilities. One outbreak began on April 23rd last year at the Canyon City, Colorado Wild Horse and Burro facility. That led to the deaths of 145 horses. Sadly, this was not the first outbreak to occur at a BLM facility in 2022. Last March, another at the Wheatland, Wyoming corral forced the facility's closure and the postponement of an upcoming auction. According to a preliminary investigation by BLM, wild horses at the Canyon City facility had experienced difficulties, including nasal discharge, coughing, hypoxia, and other respiratory difficulties. Now, considering the cramped conditions of holding pens, it's no surprise that a deadly disease could spread so quickly through the population. Wild horses are accustomed to roaming freely over 33 million acres, not being held in tight quarters on only 50 acres of land. What's more, BLM's subsequent assessments of its off-range facilities showed documented trends of limited access to hay and water, lack of pen maintenance that can harm horses, in other words, expose sharp metal, a lack of record keeping of held horses, and inadequate biosecurity controls, which can, of course, contribute to the spread of equine disease. As the BLM builds out its 2023 roundup schedule, I'll continue to fight for accountability when it comes to ensuring the off-range safety of these animals. But, we shouldn't even be at the point of removing horses and holding them in these facilities. We know there's research showing that more humane and cost-effective alternatives exist to control equine populations, including immune contraceptive vaccines. That's why last year, my colleagues and I successfully requested $11 million for vaccines and for the establishment of a BLM grant program that allows NGOs to assist the agency with its implementation of fertility controls. And this will help reduce the strain on the Bureau's budget. They can't argue that they don't have the money. I believe it's vital to ensure ongoing support for these efforts and to pressure BLM to continue to focus on a humane and physically responsible direction for the long-term management of equine populations. In March, Congressman Cohen, Congressman Schweikert, and I once again led a letter to the Appropriations Committee requesting another $11 million for humane, proven, and reversible immunocontraceptive vaccines for use in BLM's planned FY24 activities. We're also requesting that appropriators instruct the BLM to study humane alternatives to the use of helicopters, get rid of those helicopters, and that creates job opportunities as an alternative. Save a horse, hire a cowboy. It's my hope that the inclusion of this language will help advance the BLM's directive to humanely, and that's the key word I keep saying, humanely gather and better protect the lives of wild horses and burros, while also creating workforce opportunities that can provide significant savings to taxpayers. So I hope you enjoy your time here in Washington. I know it's not Las Vegas, but there are still many wonderful things to do and sights to see here in the Capitol. You can always consider me a friend, so please don't hesitate to reach out to my staff if we can ever be of service. We'll keep fighting this fight, and with your help, I'm optimistic. So thank you very much and hope to see you soon.